Welcome to the Monday Motivation with Eric and Friends podcast with your host, Eric F. King, featuring world-class speakers, coaches, and consultants. Join us every Monday as we dive into empowering conversations that motivate, inspire, and educate entrepreneurs. Kickstart your week with valuable insights that help you not just survive, but thrive. This is your go-to podcast to start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Motivational Monday with myself, Eric F. King, and our incredible speakers, coaches, and authors. All right, so we have today Leah Garcia, Amberly Shreve, and Annie Osong, and we are going to have an incredible day today. We're speaking about an incredible topic. We're speaking about public speaking, the power of public speaking. And that's what we're doing today. What? We are public speaking. We're speaking to the public, right? So we believe in it. That's why we do it every week. And something I've been doing for decades now. And it's actually changed my life, totally changed my life. I didn't start out public speaking, trust me. I was one of those shy guys, right? But today we're going to dive into it. Definitely let us know where you're zooming in from. Put it in the chat. You see Cyrus, welcome. Alicia, welcome. Put it in the chat where you're zooming in from, and I'll shout you out. All right, so let's dive in. Our first speaker hails from California, which is where it is 4:02 in the morning. So she gets up early to be here with you because, she wants to give you value. And she does that very, very well. She's a financial strategist. Okay, so all things money. You need to connect with her. She's also a karate. What do you call it?
Karateka.
Karate.
That's what we call it. Martial artist.
Martial art expert. I'm sorry. Yes, a third degree black belt. That's right. All right. And today she's going to be talking about public speaking, and she knows a lot about it because she has her own podcast. Yeah, she does. You want to connect with her? She has some incredible guests on there. So without further ado, we're going to go to Leah Garcia in California. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Eric F. King of Collaboration. Well, my name is Leah Garcia, financial strategist and insurance professional, and I specialize in wealth without risk and help you to properly protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth so that you can build that legacy and create your own family dynasty. I absolutely love this topic, the power of public speaking. And I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets, right? 3 golden nuggets on what is so powerful about public speaking. And so, number 1, I say it is about finding your voice. You will find your own voice through speaking your voice. We have to be battle tested. It has to be forged through fire. You don't really truly know what you believe, that you really believe what you say you do, until you've actually done a talk and you've said it publicly. That's how you're going to really formulate your own voice. Otherwise, you're probably going to be duplicating someone else. And that's how we start in the beginning. We're going to be copying, right? It's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat. So you go ahead and you be a copycat, but eventually you're going to formulate your own voice. Number 2, courageous people rule the world. Listen, the number 1 fear of most people is public speaking. And so in fact, that was one of my very biggest fears. I failed my 9th grade oral communications class because I could not get in front of the group. I just couldn't do it. And so I decided that I wanted to overcome that, because otherwise it would always be something lurking in the shadows. And I believe the more courageous you are, you're going to attract more opportunities just by being more courageous, just by being willing to do things that most people are not willing to do. Number 3, listen, the more you speak your mind, the more you will grow your mind. That's what I say. You will expand and grow and increase your identity. You're going to actually start to find things and discover about yourself that you never knew existed when you start to public speak. And I think it's so funny because Like Eric said, I'm a public speaker. I never wanted to be a public speaker, but I knew it was something I had to do. And before I was a public speaker, I was a bathroom speaker. Right. I used to go in my bathroom and some people sing in the shower. I would give talks in the shower. So I was always waiting for this opportunity. That's why when it was presented to me, I was ready to do it because I've been practicing in my own bathroom for many, many years. Right. And maybe you are too. And I like to think about it this way. You know what? I seldom use a PowerPoint when I talk, but I always have powerful points. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right. Thank you so much. I have to use that one day. I always have powerful points. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Great way to kick off the morning with a great points from Leah Garcia today. Thank you so much. All right. So we are going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving from California. We're going to go all the way to Maryland to hear from my good friend who has a lot of experience in public speaking. She actually spoke on my stage live in DC at our event, I think it was last year. And she did an incredible job speaking in front of a live audience. And today, it gives me great pleasure to introduce her. She helps a lot of people with building relationships, team building, networking, all the things you need to be successful in your business. And today she's going to be talking about public speaking. She is the gratitude consultant all the way from Maryland. Amberly Shreve, the floor is yours.
Eric, thank you so much. And it's so wonderful to be here with each and every one of you, Leah and Annie, of course, you, Eric. It's such an honor. And this topic is incredibly powerful. So for all of you out there, you think, oh goodness, public speaking, it's scary. Well, that's because it is. And it can be, but also it can be an opportunity for you to share your story, for you to connect with others, for you to have influence. And believe it or not, we are an example to everyone that's watching us out there, because if social media has taught us anything, everyone's watching, right? Believe it or not, people are watching, your family's watching, your kids, grandkids, etc. People are watching. So when you think about how you're showing up, especially with public speaking, give yourself the opportunity to connect with your audience. Share your story, share what you've been through, how you can connect with others, because I guarantee you there's going to be people there out in that room that are going to resonate with your story, and you're going to build a connection with them, and they're going to want to know more about you. Also, public speaking not only connects you with your audience, but it actually gives you more confidence in your leadership. It shows that you step up to the plate, that you are someone that people can trust, that you're knowledgeable, you're educating others because of what you know and where you've been. It shows your education, that you have gone through steps and you have gone through experiences. And that is why you are in front of all of these people. You're on stage, you are sharing with others who you are and where you have an opportunity to go. We're all growing, we're all stretching, we're all learning. Public speaking gives you that opportunity to grow in each one of your shares. I believe that public speaking also provides career advancement. I think as you move through your interactions and your public speaking engagements, it's going to open up doors. It's going to open up windows. It's going to give you the opportunity to be able to connect with people that maybe you wouldn't have connected with before because you were behind screen, or maybe because you maybe didn't interact, or you weren't able to be in front of others. It truly is going to give you an opportunity to put yourself in a new place. And don't get me wrong. Yes, you're being vulnerable. Yes, it can be an aha moment. It can also bring out different areas where Maybe they don't feel as comfortable, but that is okay, because there is growth in being uncomfortable. There is stretching and all of these incredible things when you are doing the hard things. And believe it or not, each and every one of you out there, including myself, we can all do hard things. It's just the stories that we're telling ourselves, right? If you've already convinced yourself that you can't do it, well, convince yourself you can. Because that's the opportunity. That's the difference between the ballers and the people that are just going to sit back and they're going to say, it's not for me. Well, maybe it's not, but maybe it is for you. Each and every one of you out there, become comfortable with being uncomfortable and give yourself the opportunity to be better and do better. And okay, maybe the first or second one's messy. Okay, maybe it is, but then it's good, better, best. You try the first time and it's okay. Then you try the next time and it's better. And then you try the next time and you're like, dang, I can do this. I can do this. So give yourself the opportunity to dream. And if your dreams don't scare you, then they're just not big enough. Go out there, enjoy public speaking, give yourself the opportunity to grow and stretch, and become the person you want to be. Back to you, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow, that was a TED Talk. Early in the morning. Thank you so much. Powerful points, folks. Powerful points. I come to these events, even though I put the event together, I learned so much from each speaker. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to go all the way to Europe to hear from my good friend, the fame expert. He's a guy that helps you become famous, especially on LinkedIn, right? Speaking about public speaking, right? A lot of public speaking I do is on LinkedIn, right? And he's the one that made it possible. So if you want to be able to do that, this is the guy you want to talk to. All right. So without further ado, Annie Usong, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for sharing so much gems, Queen Leah and Amberly. Public speaking it's a gift. Let me start here. So I was in a show last week on a public speaking event, DebEx is called, and the host asked, if you had 8 minutes to change the world, would you speak? And people were like, no. Most people would just say no to that question, right? I'm not getting on stage and talking to people. No. But see, now that's public speaking. Now, Queen Leah said, using your voice is where it's at. So I remember coming on LinkedIn 10 years ago. I started my business. I was doing what everyone else does. We'll do posts, we'll do videos. Yeah, they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but they're better than nothing. We'll do blogs. I remember writing loads of blogs, a website full of blogs. I don't know what to do with them now, right? But no one cared, to be honest. Let's be honest. No one really cared. I had to find another way to get people to engage with me. So I started doing what I call search and connect. You find people, you spam them, or you connect with them and then send them, tell them what you do. It's some call it pitch slapping. I say, call it what you like, right? But literally, the problem with doing that is that I was burning through numbers of people. If I made 300 connections a week, I'm lucky if I came away with 2 phone calls. The other 99% of those people never talk to me ever again. That's life, right? But the numbers worked out somehow. It was better than nothing. Everything was going badly until LinkedIn audio came in. The chance to speak, I tell you, that changed my world. I was about to leave LinkedIn before that. When I saw LinkedIn audio beta was coming in, I was like, rather than doing this one-to-one connection thing, rather than doing those things that's not working, let's try the one-to-many. If I can talk to people, it's not just me. If I get my clients to talk to their target audience, people in the audience, can they engage them? Can they sell to them? Hell yes. That's how I built my business. And in case you don't, in case anyone here doesn't know, I've probably done more audio events than anyone else when audio was going. And now we're onto live streams. I do more live streams than anyone else because it works. People hearing your voice is the best way for them to know. No one understands your solutions otherwise. No one knows why you're still talking. You have to explain to them, what you're talking about. When you speak, people get it. Especially when you speak on the stage, when you speak to groups of people rather than individual people, they get it. And once they get it, as we mentioned already, they know, like, and trust you. Let's not hide the fact. I'm not shy about saying it, my friends. I've got many clients. They do many great things. Some I say write a book, and they do. Now they write a book. Some would say write more blogs. Some create content that's really good, right? But when they go on stage, their income grows fantastically. It's not rocket science, my friends. If you sell a book for however much, for $20, right? When compare that to going on stage where you can earn $10,000 for a 1 hour for half an hour performance or half an hour presentation. That's a difference, right? My author friends make money by going on stages, by using their voice. That's why we do public speaking. Think of all the the great people that the great coaches, the Tony Robbins, the Gary Vee's, of the world. They make their money from speaking in public. That's how it's done. We have to find the voice. Yes, of course it's scary. I've been there, my friends. I've been there when I couldn't speak for years. Really, I didn't speak for years in public. I never would. And I ran a charity. I didn't say a word. In meetings, yes, I was fine. But when it came to talking at events I used to put on, I was like, I might trip up. They'll laugh at me. And when I say I might trip up, Eric, I mean really trip up, going on stage and falling over my feet, right? I was petrified of myself, right? I've had to get over myself now. And now I've done that. Look, my income's gone up. My clients that I get to work with it's gone up. It's got better. I get more impressive clients, and will give them more impact. If you really want to get to the top of yourself, never mind your career, your niche, learn to speak in public, my friends. That's the answer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Wow, great points today. Great points on the power of public speaking. And I said earlier that when I was in high school, I was so shy. People that knew me then and know me now, they say, "What happened, Eric? Did you drink something, or how is it that you can speak in front of all these people?" Well, it's practice and it's experience, right? So before I actually dive into some of the benefits of public speaking, let me just shout out some people first. Cyrus, Maurice, good to see you. Spencer, welcome, Spencer. Coral from across the pond, good to see you. Ardelia, good to see you. Welcome. Dan, good to see you. Welcome. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of people. A lot of people are not putting their information in the chat, so let us know where you're zooming in from. All right. Okay, so one thing I want to share before I get into benefits is the reason why people don't do it. Because some of you, I need to help you here. Okay, I'm going to help you before I tell you the benefits, because some of you already know the benefits, right? So let me talk about why people don't want to get up there and speak in public. Number one reason is they're afraid they're going to make a mistake. And here's the deal. Nobody expects you to be perfect. Nobody expects. Look, I make mistakes all the time and I keep going, right? Like, nobody expects you to be perfect, right? If you're perfect, you're boring, because nobody can relate to a perfect person. Right? Nobody can relate to a perfect person stuff. So don't worry about that. Expect to make mistakes, and it's okay. You'll get better and better and better, right? It won't kill you. You'll get better. And actually, making mistakes is a prerequisite to success. You can't succeed without making mistakes. So if you're avoiding mistakes, you're avoiding success. If you're avoiding getting out there, you're avoiding success, right? Another thing is, people are afraid of what people will say about them. I remember when I did my first video online. So I've been a public speaker for like 25 years or something, but I wasn't comfortable speaking on camera, right? So I think I did my first video in 2019, and I was watching this lady. She would get up and do lives all the time, And I contacted her and I said, can you give me some tips? And she'll give me some tips, and then I'll ask her another question. And then one day she just met with me on Zoom and said, Eric, you just need to start. Enough with the questions. Just put on your camera and start. And I'm like, wow, but when that red light comes on, I freeze, right? She said, well, you'll never get better if you don't start. And guess what? On my YouTube channel, I think I have 800 and something videos now, right? But nobody knows that it was hard for me to start, right? So here's the thing. You just have to start. You have to stop worrying about what people will say. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you have to offer. You have a story that's important. You have value. You have knowledge that's important to others, and it's time for you to share it. It's time for you to share it. Don't deprive the world of that knowledge that you have, and then don't deprive yourself and your family of the benefits that you can receive from sharing that information. Right? Don't deprive them of that. All right. This is the time to start. All right. So, having said that, some of the benefits, I'll just give you a few because my colleagues have done a great job. One is you build your authority and your credibility when you're speaking to a group. You build your authority and your credibility because people look at you as an expert. You're an expert in something when you're speaking to a group, right? And when you do that, I think Annie was talking about how people get online and they just want to sell somebody, right? It's hard because people don't know, like, and trust you, right? They don't see you as an authority when you just say, buy this, join my call. I get that every day. This is my favorite one. Hey, Eric, I have this great business. You can make a lot of money. There's a call at 7:00. Click on the link. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I don't even know who you are. I don't even know if I click on it, if you'll take all my information from my computer. I don't know, right? So stop doing that. You instead find a place to share your information to a group. Maybe it's something like this or live. And then people are like, oh, okay, I can trust him. I can trust her. Now, you can share your offer or what have you, right? But that's very important. You build your credibility, and that's important when you're speaking, okay? Number two, you build your confidence. I think Amberly talked about that. You build your confidence, right? When you know something, that doesn't really bring confidence. It's when you teach it that you really believe in, that you really believe it. You're like, oh, you don't really know it unless you can teach it. Trust me, because I took some courses in college where I didn't know what was going on. So you tell me, explain this. I can't explain it. What are you talking about, right? So it really builds your confidence for other things in your life, not just for, learning how to speak in front of a group built my confidence for other things I do in my life, right? So that's important. That's why you need to get in front of people, okay? Another thing, it builds your brand. It builds your brand, right? When you share your story and people get to know who you are building your brand. People start to follow you. People start to refer you. I mean, I get a lot of people book a call with me and I say, how did you hear about me? Well, I heard about you through somebody else. And that person gets on calls like this, right? So you want to build your brand. And then, and last thing is it actually increases your communication skills. And that's what we do every day. Every day of our lives, we're communicating. Whether you're communicating with your spouse, your significant other, your kids, your friends, your coworkers, your employees, we're always communicating, right? Public speaking allows you to do that on a higher level, right? It allows you to do that on a higher level. So if you have been afraid all this time to start, here's what I'll tell you. Just borrow my belief in you and start. Just start, okay? You don't have to do it on a big scale, but just do something. Because here's the thing. When you do something on a small scale, it gives you permission to go to the next level. Right? People say, Eric, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make $1 million a year. Okay, but let's work on your first 1,000, right? Because when you make your first 1,000, that will give you permission to make another 1,000. And then before you know it, you're making 10,000. That will give you permission to make 20,000, right? But if you just have all these pie in the sky, goals, you'll never get there because you have to start somewhere, right? So that's what I would share with you today. That's what I would share with you today regarding public speaking. So just start, folks. That's all I can say. Just start. So thank you so much. We have some questions in the chat here. And by the way, if you have any questions about public speaking, this is the time to ask. You have 4 experts here. This is what we do. We do this every day. All right. All right. So when you have a question, just put in the chat, say question, and then ask your question. All right. So we're gonna get to these questions. Let's see. I know I saw one here. Let's see. Okay. Here's one. Here's one by Coral from across the pond. From your experience, how has public speaking transformed your business? Great question. And Leah has an answer for you. Go ahead, Leah.
Yes, I love this question. Michelle Ramos talked about pitch slapping, and so did you, Eric. And I gotta confess, I was a pitch slapper. Okay, I used to send all of these comments to everybody and buy my this and buy my that. You know, we all start somewhere, right? I didn't know. And now what it's done now, because of the public speaking, I don't really do that. Well, I learned not to do that, but also it's more about attraction rather than me reaching out to other people. People start to reach out to me. So I don't really reach out to a lot of people anymore. It's more about people. They hear something that I've said or somewhere that I've been, and they reach out to you. So that's been a huge upgrade for me in my business. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you. Amberly, go ahead.
It's a great question. How it transforms your business. I think it transforms your business in so many ways. I think it helps break you out of a shell, so to speak. I feel like public speaking brings a certain energy that maybe you haven't had before. I think I said it gives you confidence, but I think it also gives you awareness of how to connect with someone. And I think that's the thing that I always look for when I am speaking to a small group or a larger group. I want to find all of those people that I can connect with. I want to share my story so people can see that my life has been nothing but in most cases difficult and challenging and hard, and the grind and sometimes heartbreak. But you can share your story with someone and transform their lives. They share that with someone else, and it in turn changes your life. So think about the domino effect. Not only are you changing your life, you're changing other people's lives. So I think that's how public speaking transforms our business, because it leads to referrals. It leads to people understanding who we are and understanding our hearts. Because if you stand up on stage and say, oh, everything's perfect, everything's great, my life's perfect, my family's perfect, everything's perfect, they're going to leave. They're going to rush out of the door so quickly, you guys aren't even going to know what to do with yourselves. Yeah. You have to be down to earth and find that connection with someone. We're all doing life in one way, shape, or form, right? So let's just be real, share our experiences, and allow people to come into our hearts and experience a little bit of our lives. And I think if we share that, then the connection piece is just very natural and authentic. Back to you, Eric.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you are the queen of that, natural and authentic. We really appreciate that. All right. Annie, go ahead.
I love what Christine says in the comments, attraction, not promotion. My friends, so for years, I mentioned it when I was speaking earlier, right? Tumbleweed was all I was getting on social media. We all know how that feels, right? It's just literally, you might get a couple of likes. That's not a sale, right? Doesn't really do much for you. So my business only changed when we suddenly got LinkedIn audio. Once we got the chance for people to speak, Not even video. It's a chance to speak. Now, literally, like Queen Leah said earlier, you don't believe yourself until you start speaking in public. But let me tell you, no one believes you until you start speaking in public. The people you're trying to sell to don't believe a word of it. That's the difference public speaking has made to my business. Now, so, because my clients come to me, it's not about me, it's about my friends that I work with. Their businesses are transformed. Those who come to speak in public, they people get to know them, like them, trust them, and they want to buy from them. And as everyone said, you can't engage people in real time unless you actually talk to them. That means using your voice. I've got a client who doesn't speak to anyone. He's a faceless client, is what I call him, right? Yes, we make dodgy AI videos for social media. It's not gonna work. I know it's not gonna work. But when I say I have to have other strategies, but I'm saying we struggle with him in particular. He's got a fashion brand, in case you're wondering, by the way. I'm saying literally he's gonna struggle because unless you show up, no one's gonna buy you at all. It's the problem. When you do show up, so all my clients who do show up, they grow, they make money, they make friends, they build a community of people. It's all of that. That's why we do public speaking.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Powerful words of wisdom. Yeah. So I'll share a little bit. For me, public speaking changed my life. Like literally changed my life. Right. That's what I do for a living. I speak in front of groups for a living. Right. And my company, studiospeaking.com. What do? I help people speak in front of people. Right. I help coaches, authors, and speakers get on a platform to be able to share their message. So, there's so many benefits. I'll give you a one. Like, I remember when I started my coaching business online, and I would do a live and post it. And then one lady reached out to me, to speak with me about it. And we're on a Zoom call, and she says, Eric, I don't really have much time because I have to go pick up somebody, but just put your link in the chat and I'll buy whatever it is. And I'm like, you'll buy whatever it is. Like, that was strange to me. She said, yeah, just put it in there and I'll get it. Okay, so I put it in there. She bought it. It was at least $1,000, something like that. And then later on, when we're doing the coaching, I said to her, I said, so why did you decide just to buy it? Like, I never even told you about it. She said, because I've seen you speak. I've seen you speak about this stuff. So I trust you. I know you're going to help me. Right. I'm like, wow. Right. So all those lives I was doing, I had one person on, it actually works. Right. Because some people see it. Right. So, that's a specific example. But the more you're out there, the more people can relate to you, the more people will want to work with you, connect with you, buy from you, collaborate with you. I get people that just want to collaborate every day. Like, Eric, how can we work together? Right. So that's one way it's changed my business and changed my life. And it can change anybody's business and change anybody's life just by doing that. Okay. So let's see if there's any other question. Now we have a question here. It's a LinkedIn user. I usually don't put the LinkedIn user up here, but I'll do it this time. Maybe you can tell me in the chat who you are. You can tell me in the chat who you are. All right. How do you manage energy when speaking on stage if you are an introverted person? Okay. So yeah, whichever way you guys want to answer the question is basically, the trials and tribulations of an introvert speaking to a group. All right, go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, I'll share my experience. I'm not sure if this is exactly what you're asking, but I'm definitely an introvert also. And when I first started speaking, they said, well, throw your energy to the last person in the room, right? To kind of open yourself up. And as you do that, then you will learn how to manage your energy. And then you can really start to throw your energy to individual people. But it first started for me was to speak to the last person in the crowd. So the crowd at the time was like 3 people. Okay, it was a huge crowd. But for me, it could have been 3,000 people because I was so nervous. So anyway, hopefully that helps.
Yes, love it. Thank you. Amberly, go ahead.
Okay, so believe it or not, I am an introverted person. Now, given a safe space, I can also be a little bit of both. I can be extroverted and introverted. But as far as speaking, absolutely introverted. But I am so confident in my connections with people and my experiences and what I have learned through the power of connection that I want people to experience the joy and gratitude and love and kindness that I get to extend day in and day out. And I think that is sort of the secret sauce is if you know like you could do it with your eyes closed. You could, you eat, sleep, and breathe it, right? You eat, sleep, and breathe your business. And it doesn't matter who you're talking to or what you're doing. You could be on a stage of 10,000 people. You are sharing your heart. And I think when you come from it in that angle, um, it's life changing. And I want that for each and every one of you. I want you to be able to share your heart. And I think that is the piece that will open up and allow you to still be introverted, but share in a loving way. So back to you, Eric.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Annie.
It can feel like a hard one. But it's the strange thing that we're all introverts, aren't we? I am. Okay, and I mentioned when I couldn't speak for years, right? Look, now they say the way that I tend to get through most speaking events is know your stuff, as Amberly just said, right? If you know your stuff, then stop worrying about whether you know your stuff, because you do know your stuff, right? Don't worry about it. Of course, I know that there's still that fear. So say the way I tend to live with that is to say, right, the audience need to hear this. It's not, because what we'll do is the other way around. We'll say, oh, will they like what I say? Will I say it properly? Whatever, don't sound perfect. Stop thinking about you, think about them. Think about them. Help them, right? If you're helping people, I've learned you can't go wrong. However it comes out, you can't go wrong. Just you have to get it out somehow. Get it out. If you get it out well, great. If you get it out badly, as long as they still hear you, they'll get it, right. You're helping people. And so look, there's no beating the real elephant in the room, my friends. So the people I know who do public speaking, you don't know how much they practice. You haven't got a clue. They practice. Now they practice every minute of of their speech, because public speaking, my friends, has a time limit. TEDx has 18 minutes. I think DebEx is 8 minutes. I'm saying there's many in between, right? Lower and higher. I'm saying you have to practice. Practice what you're going to say. With practice, yes, you might still be nervous. You just deliver. The more you deliver, the more experience you get, the more confidence you get, the more you get used to doing this thing. That's how it works for me, anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, for all of you out there that say that you're introverted, it's not a handicap. You're not handicapped, right? Like some people say that, and once they say that, it triggers something in their mind, like, I can't speak, I can't talk in front of people because I'm introverted. It has nothing to do with it. You can be introverted, and I mean, we've had presidents of the United States that were introverted. We really have. Like, being an introvert doesn't mean you can't share what you have to say. You don't have to be loud and obnoxious. Most people are not loud. Most people are not extroverted, by the way, right? Not most people, So don't look at it as a bad thing. I'll tell you one thing. I was telling one of my clients, Alexis. Her name is Alexis Skorloff James. She's a writer, and she's very soft spoken, very soft spoken. And when she talks, you have to lean in. And she was taking a sales class with me, a coaching class, and I told her that's your superpower, because I trust you because of how soft spoken you are, right? All you have to do now is learn the skills to share the message, because you already got my attention. I already want to buy. And she implemented what I had to teach her, and she's selling her offers, making a lot of money. But she realized that it's not a bad thing to be introverted. It's not a bad thing. So if you are and you're speaking in front of a crowd, well, use a microphone if it's a big crowd. If it's not a big crowd, then just speak in a conversational style, right? Just like you're having a conversation. All right. So I want to share that. Oh, another thing too is start small, because some people never start because they want to start big. Start small, right? Start by speaking to a few people. They say, well, we have a speaking opportunity, but it's only 10 people. Perfect. Let me start with 10, right? Start small, and then, like I said, you'll give yourself permission to go big, right? Give yourself permission to go big. So we're gonna go to another question, but think about this. When you get good at what you do, then other people will see you as an expert, right? So like I said, I was an introvert myself. I didn't like speaking in front of groups, but I started small, and then I started speaking to bigger groups. And now I literally coach people on speaking on stage. Like, that's not even, I didn't set out to do that, but people are like, well, Eric, you do this all the time. Can you meet with me and teach me? So now part of what I do is I coach people that want to speak on my stage, right? Because I started small. So you can do it too. All right. Okay. So let's go to another question here. Okay. That's already answered that. Okay. So it's funny because some of these questions is like we answered it already. So okay. All right. So let me go up to Carl's question, because I know Carl had a question up here, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, can everybody just tell us how you can be reached? Let's do that now. You can start with Leah. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, the best way to reach me is definitely LinkedIn. I am all over social media. You can also go to my smart link, which is like a website, and it's really, really simple. It's leahgarcia.io. I'll put it in the chat. And I invite you to download my free ebook, The Wall of Wealth. And if you're the one in your family, you're the one who wants to change your family's for generations, you want to be the one to create that generational wealth and build your family dynasty, then I'd love to chat with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I was just going to comment about something that Amberly shared earlier about, it's also what we say to ourselves. So many times we're listening to ourselves and we're not talking to ourselves. And my precious grandson, I tell him he's a champion. I talk to him, hey, champion. Everything he does is a champion, right? But when he struggles with something, I always tell him, listen, you're a champion, and champions can do hard things. It's about what we tell ourselves in our super mind, right? Our subconscious mind. So hand it back to you, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Amberly, how can we reach you? Anything you want to share with anybody?
Well, thank you so much. And I am all over social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, again, all the socials under my name, on TikTok and Instagram on @BeachGirlShreve. But I'm sure you can find me under my name as well. Very simple. And I've enjoyed this topic. I think it is very important for being an entrepreneur and learning to connect with others. I think that it's a crucial topic for us to talk about. And I think it enhances our business as well. And I think if we're able to move through the public speaking space, I think there are endless possibilities for growth, and not only growth. I think there's room for us to be able to find ourselves in a deeper space. And for that, I'm grateful. So back to you, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, we are grateful. Every time I see her, I remember, that's what she talks about, being grateful. We are grateful. Absolutely. All right. Who else? Who hasn't?
Me. Go ahead. Look, of course, LinkedIn is my home. So people criticize me, but now connect with me on LinkedIn. So I'd love to know what you do. I just shared my profile link in the comments. So I'd love to know what you do, and I guess vice versa. Right, important point of talking, right? Let's connect. Let's talk.
Awesome. Thank you. Best way to reach me also is LinkedIn, Eric F. King on LinkedIn. If you want to learn more about what I do, go to studiospeaking.com. You will see clips of my speakers speaking. You'll see all the benefits that you get by speaking on my stage. And I am looking for speakers. So if you are a speaker or you know speakers, coaches, speakers, authors, definitely book a call and let's chat about it. Okay. All right. So let's go to this next question. All right. The question is, what advice would you give to someone who is not confident in public speaking but wants to be confident? So they're not confident, but they want to be confident. All right. Who'd like to tackle that? Okay, Amberly, go ahead.
Okay, so you're not confident. So which means we have to start with some mindset and outlook work. And I think once we tackle the mindset, there has to be something there that either you don't believe in yourself, which is why you don't feel confident in it. And I think we have to start there, figure out that piece, and then move through that. It takes time to be confident in what we're doing. But more than anything, the stories that we tell ourselves, I mean, shoot, we can take ourselves from 0 to 60 in like no time, because we have already told ourselves that we're not going to make it, we're going to fail, it's not going to work out, people are going to make fun of us, they're going to judge us, or whatever the story is. Don't do that. Okay. I used to do that. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. Okay. You can do this. And I would encourage you, whether it's prayer or meditation, or maybe you're journaling, or maybe you need to journal, pray for your heart and do the hard work, do the things to get your mind where it needs to be. Because if you want to be a winner, people want to chase the winners. People want to be with the people that they see who are making a difference in people's lives. I know you all want to be that person. So let's work on what's going on up here, so that way you can connect with people with what's going on in here. That is the only way that you are going to move through it, is do the work up here so you can connect here.
Yes.
Okay, back to you, Eric.
Powerful. Wow. Well, like we should charge for this kind of information. This is powerful. Like seriously, she could charge for this kind of information. That is powerful right there. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes. Who's next? Let's go with ladies first. Leah.
Sorry, Annie. I can tell you what I did was I started speaking in the dojo. So I wasn't confident about being a public speaker, but I was very confident in my craft. And so if you speak about a topic that you know very well, you're very, very competent in it, then you will build your confidence in the public speaking. So hopefully that helps. Back to you.
Explain what dojo is. Some people don't know what that means.
Oh, the karate practice place. There you go.
Very good. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Go ahead, Annie.
Look, if someone's not confident, and I think it starts with, do you believe in your solution? Do you believe in what you're trying to, what you're going to share? If you don't believe what you're trying to say, you're never going to be confident. You don't believe that solution really works, then no, you're not going to be confident sharing it with anyone, right? I'm saying, first of all, is create a solution that you believe in, that helps people. If you can do that, then again, so when people come to me, Eric, what I simply say is, okay, let's do a room. I can see their face drop. I see their face go, let's do an event. Read me speak. I'm like, yes. Let's put date, time, title. Let's go for it. Literally jump in is what I'm trying to say to you. Jump in. If you're not confident, jump in. Start somewhere. Of course, it helps if you have co-hosts or someone else to speak alongside you. I'm saying, but online is easier. On stage, practice.
Yes.
That's the answer that I find anyway.
Thank you. That's a good question. Most people don't have confidence before they do anything. Like when I started the LinkedIn audio. I didn't have confidence in LinkedIn, in my ability to do a LinkedIn audio, right? I'm asking any questions, and Annie's like, don't worry about it, Eric. I'll be there with you. Like, right? Like, that's real. I've been speaking for many, many years, but I wasn't confident in that, right? So that's no excuse. Like, I don't have confidence. Nobody has confidence. All you need is the courage to start. You need the courage to start, right? And I'll tell you real quick, I was teaching my son how to drive last summer, and we were in a parking lot, and I'm teaching him how to drive. There's nobody in the parking lot, and he's in the car, and he'll move and stop and move and stop and move. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what? Just press it and keep going. He said, yeah, but I'm scared. I'm like, why? There's nobody here. Like, right? He said, but Dad, I've never done it before. That's what he said. I've never done it before. I said, I know, but you have to have the courage, right? And then I told him, I said, look at all the people driving around. Look at all the cars. What's the difference between them and you? He said, well, they've done this before. Like, I've never done it before. I said, that's right. They have confidence. That's what it is. Well, how did they get confidence? By doing it. So just have the courage to start. Guess what? In less than 2 months, we couldn't even keep him in the house. He's driving all over the place. You need to get something at the store? I'll drive. He drives all over, right? But so he didn't have confidence, but he just had the courage to start, right? So that's what I tell everybody. Just have the courage to start. The confidence will come with experience. It doesn't, you don't just get the confidence. It comes with experience. All right. Great question. All right. So as we wrap up, is there any additional comments that any of our speakers would like to share? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd love to just share this quick little story about my precious grandson. So he would always say, I'm shy. I would try to get him to introduce himself, to speak to other adults, and he would practice, but he would always tell me he's shy. So what I started doing was when we went to the pizza parlor, there was video games there, and he wanted to play the video games. I said, okay, here's $5. You have to go ask for change. And sometimes he wouldn't even get the change because he was just talked himself out of it. He wouldn't do it. But I kept doing it. Well, this past week, I gave him the money. He went right up to the register. He asked for the coins. He got all the coins. He even asked for extra ranch sauce for his pizza. And the lady at the register came up and she's like, wow, look at him. He's really grown. He's 6 years old. So I've been doing this now for probably about a good year and a half. So you know what? We all start somewhere. Today he's asking for change, but tomorrow he'll be speaking to millions of people. So there you go.
That's awesome. That's a great story. And years from now, he'll look back and say, that's how I started. It all started by that confidence that he got from you, and the courage he had to start. All right. Who else? Anybody? Okay, go ahead, Annie.
Look, I think this topic, like I say, it's more than just speaking in public. It's about who are you really. Let's work on who we are. Build something that people need. Build a solution, something that's worth communicating, yes. And then just set about communicating that to people. When we talk about public speaking, I guess there's different versions. As I think we mentioned it already, right? Talking on video, talking at events like this, talking on podcasts, even doing videos. I'm saying these are the steps you take before you get to the stage. Getting to the stage is not as easy as it sounds. It's the ones that are worthwhile, the ones that will make it worth your while, the ones that will pay you, in other words. They are for people who are experienced. To get that experience, whatever that looks like. Sometimes practicing in Eric's, studio is a solution, right? Other times coming to my events, coming to do events with me is a solution. Doing events with Queen Leah is a solution. I say, we will do events, right? So I'm saying, connect with us, connect with people who do events. Start there. You can't go from zero to stage. I don't know how you do it. I say, after God knows, I've tried to get many of my clients to stages. They're hard. You have to make the friends as well, Eric, to get to yourself on stage. You have to get known for something. That's my point today, really.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Amberly.
So in our home, we talk about doing the work. So to build our confidence, to make sure that we're in the place that we need to be in order to experience growth, we have to do the work. And Christine, you put in the comments about it's a muscle. We work on our shortcomings and develop our strengths. And we have to do it daily. We have to work on ourselves and we have to work on our hearts and do the work that needs to be done for us so that we can example to others. We can show up in love. We can show up as a teacher. We can show up and have the patience to be able to extend grace to someone else because we've been there. And I think that's the difference. I think there are many that want to be able to help in the world, but it's finding that happy medium. And if you're doing the work and you're allowing yourself to work through these areas, that's going to build your confidence. That's going to increase your mindset. It's going to change your outlook. It's going to help you be a more confident and stable human being so that when you meet someone, you have the grace and the knowledge to be able to meet them where they are. Most people do not wake up and they're just naturally confident and they have all the things. I mean, we probably wake up hot mess express and we're like, okay, well, let's put out the next fire. You know, that's what most of us do, right? But we work at it each day and we find the places where we can meet ourselves and then grow upon that. So we're doing all the things in my household as well. But one thing that we do is we do the work. And it's hard work and it's not easy. And we do the work even when we're tired. So give yourself grace and do the work. And I guarantee you, you're going to benefit from the work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was powerful, powerful. As we end the call today, just I want everybody to realize that your success comes from doing things outside of your comfort zone, right? If you say, well, Eric, I'm uncomfortable doing that, that's exactly what you need to do. That's exactly, because if you're doing what makes you comfortable every day, you are not fulfilling your full potential in life. You are not. You are selling yourself short. You're not doing all the things God wants you to do if you're not stretching yourself. So do something to stretch yourself, and you'll be happy you did. You'll be happy you did. I did want to say, I think it's Nzinga or Gil. I see your question. It's more about pricing and stuff like that. So just, you can contact me and I'll give you more information on that, because we don't have enough time to get into pricing and position and all that stuff. All right, so just message me. So, but for everybody else, appreciate everybody for being here. Another great day. Thank you for my incredible speakers, and thank you to all of you that joined from all over the world. We will see you here, same time, same place next week. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure to be here with you today. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. All right.